Hello, my friends. Someone the other day directed me to somebody's website. I really should remember whose. There's been so many wonderful suggestions and links that you've sent for information for me to put into my stew pot right now. So, unfortunately, I can't remember it. However, it was someone talking about, a permaculture guy, talking about the fact that nature largely doesn't even notice this coronavirus thing. The birds are going about their springtime mating rituals, and the woolly bears are crawling out and finding their ways up into trees and finding good green things to eat. The geese are coming north, sandhill cranes, little green things popping up out of the ground everywhere. Delicious. So here we are, we humans, and there's all these concerns that we can have. A lot of us feeling very troubled in our minds with the images that we might be seeing and the ideas or fears that we might be harboring. Nature just doing her own thing. I remember experiencing this through forest monks at ReWild U too, saying that, wow, I'm out here and I'm going through withdrawal from sugar and technology, and I'm having all these emotions and then these moments of, but then I look around me and nature's just doing its own thing and just seems to be fine. Nature's fine doesn't equate with our human ideas of fine. Overall, nature is generally kind of quiet and peaceful, but there's giant waves that toss people around. There's hurricanes that thrash forests and jungles level. There's animals out there in the woods right now that are dying as well as living. But that's all a part of an overall balance that has continued for millions and millions and millions of years, as nature just goes about its extinctions, its growths, its shifting and transformation that is a natural part of this ongoing process. It's we humans that have somehow come to this place of wanting everything to be the same. I've talked a lot on this channel about seeing adversity as a gift. And I've heard that from a lot of you too, that whether it's the coronavirus or a cancer diagnosis or a relationship breakup or something else that really felt like a tragedy and an awful thing, but that you came to see held these really meaningful things for you. A good friend of mine was just saying that he, over the last year, was going through a dark night of the soul, but the very clear in his mind is that this brought him to these new places in life. I think of this as one of the essential elements of rewilding, in the sense that there's these skills and philosophies, and to me, maybe the most important thing, the rewilding of the mind. And yet, there's this recognition that our culture that we have created, our civilization that we've created, in our civilized mind, as many people in the rewilding community would call it the domesticated mind, in that mind, it's almost unfathomable to imagine that we could live without those cultural constructs. Whether it is laws to guide our behavior, whether it is money to exchange, whether it is Amazon to be able to order the things we want, to live without these things can seem impossible. And yet our species has lived so long without them, and Again, using the forest monks as a reference, and many of you who have chosen simpler lives, often when we start to step away from those things, we find that we're actually happier and more joyful. I hear a lot of people talking about the inequality right now, which to me seems very, very real, where there are a lot of people who have a lot, and then the mass of people who have the scraps left over. But not spoken about is the inequality in things like access to nature, or the inequality that happens when one person has cultivated mindfulness and inner peace and another has not. You can be a multi-billionaire, and in a way you are not as wealthy as that person who has cultivated an inner peace. They have something that no amount of money can purchase. This inequality emerges out of this culture that we've created that is designed to distract us, designed to keep us ever wanting. It's very well designed to make us into consumers, and to be consumers, we must be filled with desire. We must be ever grabbing for that next thing, and certainly not satisfied with what we have. But my friends, what a power when instead of deciding that we want to have more money and more stuff and to reach for that, we say, I'm going to reach for that inner peace. That peace that passes all understanding. And unlike becoming a billionaire, which our culture says is available to all of us, but realistically is probably not, all of us do have the ability to begin cultivating more of that inner peace. And that is something that I'd wager to say, even if your mind is really in turmoil, if somehow someone said, look, let's create a place where you can meditate 15 hours a day for the next 10 years, all of us, if we did that, would be in this place of great peace. But you can see that there is an inequality there. There's that inequality because we are always grasping, and there's not time to cultivate the inner peace. That's one of the hidden gifts of the coronavirus for some of us, not those in the healthcare profession, but for some of us, is this spaciousness of time. And this is a wealth that is independent of all the other structures of our culture that we have built up and come to think of as necessary. Here's this moment, my friends, when so many of us are questioning how necessary all of those constructs are. And think of all the constructs we've created, and so many of them not available to us right now. You're probably not going out to the restaurant, and you are probably not going out to the movie theater with friends, or out to the sports games, or so many things. And some of you, at least, have been reporting more joy and happiness in that spaciousness, more connection with family. So this video is really just about laying out an observation and a question, which is, how much of all of that really is necessary? Do we need these things? The schools, the money, the laws, everything that we've laid out that we thought is so vital. And what would life be like if we chose a simpler way? If you're watching this channel, you probably don't need to hear it, because you're probably already living it. But this is a precious moment in our lives. I don't mean precious in the sense that it's all good and happy and joyful, but I mean precious in that it's rare. And who knows? We may get many more of these experiences, but this might be the only one for a while. So to seize upon the opportunities for awareness, for observation of how we humans have built up our life, and for creativity, for this opportunity to create a new life. And as you often hear me saying, it has to begin with ourselves and the choices that we make. My friends, thank you for being a part of this channel for so long. There's a new little feature on YouTube where next to your names, often I can see how long you've been subscribed, if you're publicly subscribed. And that it's been really neat, because I get to see, wow, some of you have been here for years and years, and some of you are brand new and just come to the channel. But notice how even without meeting in person, here we've created a little community of people that in general are pretty supportive of each other and share a lot of ideas. And there's not voices that are captured by anger and ego lockdown and going, "You're wrong." In general, we're listening to each other. And that's because I think everybody that's watching this, you're able to question the most vital thing to question, which is yourself and your own beliefs. These are the ones that have power over us and that we get locked into. When we can question those, then real change is possible. May some beautiful, new, real transformations unfold in your life. And thank you for being part of the transformation that's happening in my family's life. I firmly believe that this would not be happening if you weren't in our lives as part of this, because you give us a chance to express out to you and to hear back and to see what you're doing in your life to transform your own situations. That is the power of community and connectedness. If we can do this on this format, on this online, without even seeing each other, what would happen if we came together face to face as people and formed small communities where people were really interconnected? Again, just questions, observations. Love you all so much, my friends. And we will talk with you tomorrow. Share your thoughts. Share your feelings. Can't wait to hear what you have to say in the comments.